Hey, what is up, everybody? Platform Disciple here, and I have a pretty huge video coming at you right now, or well, the announcement is huge, which is that the new weekly decks and new decks in the store have been put into the game, which is like a huge change. So, first of all, prior to this, some of the weekly decks were illegal due to card changes or just errors. And that has been fixed. So now all the weekly decks are playable, and some of them are new, I believe. Like this Aggravated Assaultless has Rapier Fanatic, which is a card from the new set. So we've got updated card lists, which is also pretty nice. But aside from this, which is just, a quality of life change, and it's about time, that they updated these and made them all legal again. Much more importantly, the decks in the store have been updated so that you can buy the free weekly decks. And I believe some of the old decks are in here. I believe these are the old decks, but all of the decks now cost 900 LP or 18,000 IP. And in my previous video, I was saying you should never buy these decks because they were 27,000 IP, which was the equivalent of 9 booster packs, and 9 booster packs was always going to get you about the same number of cards and probably a much higher number of rares or desirable cards. But now that these cost less, you have to compare it to 6 boosters, and 6 boosters gives you only 30 cards. So these give 43. So already you're looking at an improvement there in terms of the number of cards you're getting. But if we take a look at the deck lists, we've got the old ones. And the old ones, before I was saying this is a bad deal because you were not getting very many rares. But you're getting 6 rares in this. No, wait, 7 rares in this, which is much more in line with what you should get for 6 booster packs. And not all of these deck lists have the same number of rares. Like, for example, the one we looked at had 7. This one has only 3. But I will say that all of these deck lists for the price are giving you at least what you deserve. Like this deck list, even though it doesn't have as many rares, it has full play sets of very, very important cards for these deck strategies. Like, for example, we got Forerunner of Champions and Champion's Companion, Guns of Goliath, Luca Ascended, Box, Sea Ascended. I mean, if we're just looking at these are all cards that you want. Even if they're not rares, a new player who wants to jump straight into the game and buy a full completed deck and have the cards to build new decks, this is going to help them just so much. That aside, though, some of these decks, the deal is just so good that I feel that even some players that are more experienced are going to be wanting to buy these for a lot of the cards in them, notably like this Descendants of the Dragons list is insane. Oh my gosh. Like, you're getting 13 rares and 7 epics in addition to the other cards for the same price that you would ordinarily get 6 booster packs. That is literally just nuts. So like, if you don't have, Surprise Defense, Aoshun, Avatar of Linbao, this is very, very much worth buying even as an experienced player. And you know what? These extra cards, they could help you out too if you don't have a play set of them, or maybe you want to trade them to friends. Either way, it's very, very good for the game. Another one that's pretty noteworthy is we've got a Genesis deck that comes with 2 Omnitrons. And then all the cards you will need to support Omnitron, which is really awesome. So we're looking at high quality decks with high rare density that new players can buy, that they can take straight into just playing the game. And because these decks are free, you can try them first. So right now, if you're tentatively thinking about, oh, well, maybe I want to play this Aggravated Assault list. It looks pretty good. It comes with some really desirable rares, like holy moly. Maybe you're thinking that, but you're on the fence and you can just go and you can try it. You can play it as much as you want while it's free for that week. And then you can, as soon as you've saved up, you can go ahead and buy it. So basically, I have to completely take back my previous statement. My previous statement was that you should never buy these decks in the store. And my new statement is like, oh my gosh, every single player in the game should be thinking about whether they want to buy these decks or not. Unless you already own literally all the cards, they're a pretty freaking good deal. And if you're a newer player, this is definitively the best possible deal you can get. The only way it could get better is if you had like a Rift run where you had 20 plus wins and managed to get the deck for really cheap or even free. But the large majority of players don't do that. Getting 20 wins is not easy, especially for a newer player who's just learning the ropes of the game. So yeah, huge improvement here. Great move. ES is working on improving the new player experience, and this is absolutely what new players are going to want to see, what is going to keep them interested in the game. It gives them a way to go from playing for free, doing the free weekly decks, to having a goal that they want to set, which is I want to save up for this deck. And then from there, after they've bought a few of these decks, they can get into the strategy of like editing these decks and stuff. Super good, very great. And while we're at it, I will say that I also said don't buy the faction packs, but that was because the faction packs cost twice as much of this when I talked about them. Now they cost the same amount as other packs. So if you have LP and you want to get cards for a specific faction, these are absolutely a perfectly fine deal now. Like, I can wholeheartedly encourage people who want to spend LP on boosters to spend it here. Like if you only want Exiles cards, great. This is exactly what you're looking for, and for the right price. So overall, I'm pretty psyched about these changes, and I expect that all of you are going to be very happy about it as well. I think I've said pretty much all I need to say. Let me think. So I think the only other thing I will say is that these decks do impact the trade value of some of the cards. Like for example, Avatar of Lin Bao was not an easy card to come by before because it was an epic and it's pretty desirable. But now it's available to any player for a pretty low price. So I suspect that these cards are going to be less valuable in terms of trading. Like, I would not value Avatar of Lin Bao as highly as some other epics now. But that being said, it's much better for players to have greater access to these cards than the cards to have trade value, because the only thing that gives cards trade value is desirability of the cards, and the cards are only desirable if people are interested and passionate about the game. And I think that to get players interested and passionate about the game, you need something like this, a starting point for new players, or even a point of build-up for players who've already been playing the game for a while. That's all I have to say, other than the last thing is that my series, the free-to-play ranked series, it's gone pretty well. We're still up there. I mean, we're in risk of getting bumped off, so I'll probably have to play some games. But more importantly, the whole point of the free-to-play player deck thing was to show new players that they had the ability to get involved in the ranked gameplay and perform well. But with the introduction of these decks to the store, it's no longer like a free-to-play kind of thing where you just build the decks from the campaign cards. If you're free to play, absolutely go and buy one of these decks if you feel like you don't have the cards for ranked, because a lot of these are definitely good enough to go straight into ranked. And if you go ahead and tweak them around, edit them, build a sideboard, you 100% are going to be better off than my free-to-play deck. And my free-to-play deck is already up there, so this is great. It's going to get more players involved in ranked, hopefully, as well. And that is actually all I have to say for the time being. Great job by ES and the Infinity Wars team just for working with him on this stuff. Until next time, everybody, peace out.